I'm Dr. Kristen R. Bromley. This Guitar 101 series, which is part of my online music academy, is a beginner through intermediate level guitar course similar to the in-person ones I teach at the university. The course progresses from complete beginner through gaining capability in playing songs in various styles and covers playing chords and melodies and reading chord symbols, tablature, and standard music notation. With the Guitar 101 course, we use 3 of the books from my method book series: Chords and Harmony books 1 and 2, Note Reading books 1 and 2, and Tablature, which are all available for purchase through Amazon and Google Play. Links can be found in the description below or at kristenbromley.com. You are of course welcome to participate in this course with or without the books, but with the books you can play right along with me on all the songs and exercises as intended. Plus, each book comes with exclusive access to additional hours of in-depth video lessons that go with each part of that book. If you find this Guitar 101 series helpful, please like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's get to jamming in this week's lesson. Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. I am thrilled to be here helping you learn to play the guitar. This is lesson 28 of the Guitar 101 series. This is actually the last lesson of the Guitar 101 series. So in this series, in lesson 1, it started from ground zero, as if those watching the video had never played the guitar before, might not even know anything about the guitar really. Until now, where we're getting into some pretty advanced and intermediate types of skills. So the whole course covers a little bit more than would happen in 2 semesters at the university where I teach. So lots of great things. Of course, there are other courses to come and lots of other videos out there on my channel. So lots of different types of learnings. But this one has specifically gone over chords, reading notes, and reading tablature. 3 important skills for playing music. So, and sort of at the heart of it. And there's other videos out there and videos to come that will go over other specific skills. So, lots of great things on this channel, and I'm thrilled to be here with you. In this particular lesson, we're going to start off by reviewing some of that alternate bass plucking with bass walks. So we'll do just a little bit more of that. We're going to work on a new finger picking, the Travis pick, which is a fun pick, kind of banjo playing technique sort of applied to the guitar. We'll also work on the jazz chords, so review the ones that we've done in the last couple of lessons and explore some new ones. So keep working on those lovely sounds. Look a little bit more and a couple new chords that way, and also work on some half-diminished, some ultra-dominant for minor keys. So it's going to be great. I'll also review a little bit about the diminished 7th, but look at it as a movable shape instead of down in first position. In the tablature, we'll continue working on higher places along the neck, sort of in the middle of the neck there. And in the notes, we're going to work on some new rhythmic things. So lots of great things. Let's go ahead and just dive in. We're going to start off in the chords book on page 19 and do number 4. We're going to use some of that alternate plucking and some bass runs. So Worried Man Blues, we've got G, C, and D7. As a review, with G, I can alternate root to 3rd, 6th string to 5th string, or I can alternate with the 5th of the chord by skipping from the 6th string to the 4th string. Either one, you can pick whatever you want to do. When with C, I can go high to low for that root to 5th, so I just move my ring finger at the 3rd fret from strings 5 to 6. And I could also go to the 3rd by just going 5th string to 4th string. On the D7, I can go to the 5th, really. I can go higher on the 4th to the lower on the 5th strings. Or I can go 4th string to 3rd string for a little bit of a higher one. I don't use that one as often, but you can. Now, in going from the bass runs, G to C, you'll remember, going from G to C, on that 5th string, O, 2, 3 for C. Going back to G would be the opposite, 2, open G. So, let's just practice that back and forth a little bit as we get used to particular thing here, I'm on the G chord alternating with the third of the chord, and on the C chord alternating with the fifth, and that's okay. You can just pick which ones you want. The D7 then, if I want to go from G to D7, that's going to be the best option on that 4th string to go 4 2 open, 4 2 open, going back to G 2 open G. Let's go back and forth between those. I know I mentioned that a lot of times we don't necessarily walk to the dominant 7th chords as frequently as we do the others. It's kind of just a taste in a given song. I kind of like it in this song, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. But G, D7, back to G, to the D7, back to G, to the D7, back to G. Okay, Worried Man Blues, here you go. And as a reminder, we throw those walks in the measure that precedes the chord change. So where I have G on the first line, and then the first measure of C happens at the first measure of the second line. So on the last measure of G is where I'd play. And then coming back, that second to last measure on that second line is the measure that precedes where the chord change happens, where the G comes in. So I'd play that there. So same kind of thing for the D7, I would need my walk up to happen on the last measure of the third line, because that's the measure before the D7 comes in, so that needs to happen there. And then the second to last measure is where I could have D7, maybe. So just like that. Okay, Worried Man Blues. You can throw them in as much as you want. This song has wide open space on the chord progression, so I'm gonna throw them in everywhere. Here we go. A 1 2 3. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, yes now, but I won't be worried long. Okay, so super fun. It's fun with this once you start get it sort of entwined and natural and automatic, instinctive. I don't know what word I'm looking for with this, but once it's kind of just instinctive and just ingrained, it's fun to get these going fast. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. It takes a worried man to sing a worried song. I'm worried now, yes now, but I won't be worried long. Which is fun. And that little down up down is sort of a classic way to end. Sometimes we throw in the 5 chord as I showed in the last lesson. I don't usually do that in this key because that D7 is so high. Sometimes you'll also go 1 4 1, so you just kind of hear usually the last couple chords, or sometimes an alteration, like maybe I went 1, the last 2 chords in this song were 5 1. Maybe I want 1 4 1, sort of an amen finish, as we like to say, or it might have been 4 1, but I want to throw in a little extra 5 1. Anyway, lots of fun things to do with that style. So let's go on over to page 26 and we'll do number 6, the Wildwood Flower, which gives us a little bit of practice with A and E. Going between A and E, a great way is right on that 6th string, so A, and then to walk down to E on the 6th string, 4 2 open, and then going back to A, it's the same thing only in reverse, 2 4 A, so you can go back and forth between those two. Now with the A chord, you can alternate with the 5th, going higher on the 5th string to the lower on the 6th string, so the lower 5th, or you can go the root on the 5th string to the higher 5th on the 4th string. Doesn't matter. I kind of like to go low when I can usually. Sometimes though I prefer the higher sound. In this one we also have A going to D and D back to A. So to go A to D, it's all on that 5th string, 2, 4, A, and then in reverse back to A. So the same sort of thing as we were doing between E and A, only we're on the higher chord, the higher strings for those higher chords, higher voiced chords, I should say. With the guitar, the D's voiced a little higher here where we're playing it than the A. So all on that 5th string. So we have A, up to D, back to A, back to D. Oh, I didn't play a D. I will mention with the D, we can alternate to that lower 5th, going 4th string with the root to the 5th string with the 5th, or you can go higher, 4th string with the root to the 3rd string for the higher 5th. I usually go lower, but there's times where I might go higher. Just kind of whatever's aesthetically pleasing to me for a given song. You get to make those creative choices. Okay, we'll do this one. Oh, I'll twine with my needles and waving my hair. It's gonna be kind of low. Maybe I'll sing it up. I don't know. Oh, I'll twine with my needles and waving my hair. Now with the E going back to the A so quick, probably won't throw in a run there, but sometimes you might just want to hit that E and throw that run in. There's no rule. Same thing with the D going back to the A, would just be right back to it. So it's kind of up to you. The E at the end might be the most likely one where I might turn around that fast, but we'll just see how it goes instinctively, and you as well. Okay, so here we go. A 1, 2, oh, I'll twine with my needles and waving my hair, with the roses so red and the lilies so fair, and the myrtle so bright with emerald dew, the pale and the leader and eyes look like blue. Okay, a little out of my range for this time of the day, but so it goes. Okay, so we'll go over to page 32 and do number 9, Battle Hymn of the Republic. We've got A, D, and E7, so the same types of chords that we were just doing, only E7 instead of E. Now with this one, I'm going to insert our strumming pattern twice per measure. So we're in essence going to just sort of change the meter of this a little bit. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. That's just sort of what works best with the feel of the song, I think, for using this type of strumming. So, okay, let's go ahead and do it. So it'll be as if we were reading a dotted quarter notes and eighth notes instead of dotted eighth notes and 16th notes, and we had 2 measures in place of 1. It's sort of how it would be written by the way I'm playing it, but I think you'll just kind of feel it out. So 1, 2, 3, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where those grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory. kind of a fun thing to do there. I'll go over to page 35 now and do number 3. So Billy Boy, we got D and A7 and D. Walks to A7, down to that A7 are going to sound just fine. And back to the D will sound just fine too. So, and it's the same as going between A and D, only now we've got D7. So we'll just go ahead with oh, where have you been? It'll be just like that. Oh, 1, 2, oh, where have you been? Billy boy, Billy boy. Oh, where have you been? Charming Billy. I have been to see my wife. She's the joy of my life. She's a young thing that cannot leave her mother. Kind of a fun little funny song there. Old folksy tune. Okay, so we'll turn over to page 48 and do number 4, which is Oh Susanna. So on this one, where we've got these chords, C to G7 works the same as C to G and G7 back. So there'd be nothing really different there than things that we've already done today. But with this one, where we have the G7 coming in halfway into the measure, we don't usually do one there. That's just not common. It's just a quick thing. So we won't be doing them there. But where we have a whole measure of G7, it totally works to go down. But going back, you'll have to choose when you only have one measure. It's those ones where it's so quick. You could just hit it and go right back, but it's sort of up to you. Going from C to F, it's a little different today, at least we haven't done it. Walking from C to F works the same as walking from G to C, only we're on the higher strings. So that walk is going to be on the 4th string up to the F. So C, open to F, C, up to F, C, up to F, C, up to F, C. Cool. And going back is just in reverse. So let's go back and forth between C and F. Now with F and C, or F, we've already talked about C, I can alternate to that lower 5th by moving that ring finger. 3rd fret to 3rd fret on the 4th string to the 5th string. Or I can go to the higher 3rd. But really, it's not my favorite most of the time. Usually I like going lower with F and C. Of course, if we were going down to the bar chord version of F, it would change the run. From C, you would hit the open 5th string, 3rd fret on the 6th string, and then we're there. So, and going back to the C would be the O, 2, 3. And then your alternating would be between the root and the 5th on the 6th, 5th string. Think for a second. So that's an option, but not the one that I'll be using for this particular song. Okay, so Oh Susanna. Oh, I 1, 2, 3. Oh, I come from chord, C, G7, C there at the end. It's super fun. I plan to do lots of videos with this style in the future that goes into greater detail, maybe even a book, but this is a great introduction. It's a lot of fun to play in this style. Okay, so go on over and we'll go to pages 65 right now, because we're going to talk about the Travis pick. So we're going to do a little bit of finger picking. So on page 65, it's pattern number 30. Now this one is different than all the others, so I wanted to cover this one today. And the reason is it sort of borrows from the banjo technique. We're not going to use the ring finger really with this specifically. If we had a variation, we could, but we've got thumb, index, and middle. That's what we use. And the thumb plucks more than the bass note. It plucks an alternate string as well. So it starts out, if we have our index on our third string like normal, and our middle on the second string is normal, and then we're not grabbing with the ring finger at all for this particular pattern. And then the thumb grabs the bass note as usual, which could be on the sixth string or the fifth string. It only works for this particular pattern on the sixth string or the fifth string because it's going to alternate and have the other plucks be on the fourth string, always. So the bass note pluck and then the alternate is going to always be on the fourth string. So when we have a chord that only uses four strings, we actually have to move our whole hand up and do it differently. So this one starts out, you'll see there with the P and the M as a pinch, and I'm just going to do it on a C chord, so that'll be a nice chord to do. So we've got that pinch, thumb and middle happening at the same time, and it's a quarter note, so it's held a little longer. And then we have the lowercase p. That's telling you, for this book at least, that you're going to play the alternate note with the thumb. So thumb's going to pluck the fourth string, and then the index is going to pluck. So that's how that happens. Just do that much. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So you get that pluck, thumb, index, pluck, thumb, index, pluck, thumb, index, pluck, thumb, index. Then the second half alternates thumb, middle, thumb, index. So the bass note thumb, middle, and then the alternate thumb on the fourth string, index. Practice that part a little bit, get used to that. Kind of alternating between those. And then the whole thing sounds like bum. Get used to that on a C chord. A chord, it would work the same. Or an A7 or an A minor. Now let's look at the chords that have the root on the sixth string. So like G, my alternating is going to still go back to that fourth string. So my thumb has to skip over a string because the root's on the sixth string. Same thing for like E or E minor. Now what happens when we have like a D or an F on the top four strings? So for D, we have to take our whole hand up. Our bass pluck is going to be on the fourth string, and our alternate's going to be on the third, and then our index is going to pluck the second string, and our middle is going to pluck the top string. So this is an alternate assignment of strings for the fingers. And it works just like that. And we'd have to jump back and forth. We're not gonna work on jumping back and forth right now. Let's do number 1 there on the bottom of page 65. We're playing an E to an A to the E to the B7. For the B7, the pluck is between the fifth string and the fourth string, just like we'd expect. Okay, so 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Let's try it a little bit faster. A 1, 2, and ready, and go. And E, A, E, E7, E, A, B7, and E. Okay, so we're going to go over and practice this with some songs now. So we'll look at page 41. And we'll do number 3, Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. And we want to get it going just a little bit faster, if you can. Here you go. Nobody, I want to ready, and nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. Alright, we'll flip on over to page 42. We're going to use number 5, that chord progression. It's written in 3/4 time, but we're going to play it as if it's in 4/4 time. So just one time per measure is how we'll just insert that. So most of the chords get it once, but there's 2 places where the chord will get it twice. The end of the 2nd line and the end of the 4th line. So here you go. I want to ready, and a nice progression. Okay, so we'll do one more with this pattern. We just need to turn over to page 91. We'll do number 8, Jamaica Farewell. Try and take it just a little bit faster. There you go. 1, 2, ready, and down the way where the nights are gay and the sun shines daily on a mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica I made a stop. But I'm sad to say that I'm on my way, won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is turning around. I had to leave a little boy in Kingston town. Running out of breath. Okay, so we're going to go on and work with the 9th chords and a little bit. So let's go over to page 147 and do number 5, which is where we've been playing a lot of our jazz chords. So we're going to finish off this first part of the lesson reviewing number 5. So we got that D minor 7 at the 10th fret, minor 7 shape. We're inserting the dominant 9 shape. So G9 and then C major 7. Let's just play that one over and over a little bit. We got our little jazz strumming pattern. Let's do it again and again. Let's practice the other shape then. So we'll just do G minor. So get that minor 7 to the C13 to the F major 7. So it'd be like G minor, C13, F major 7. So we'll warm that up. Okay, let's go ahead and play number 5. A 1, 2, ready, and D minor 7 to the G9 to C major 7. Then it becomes C minor, F9, and the B flat major 7. I'm going to jump up to F sharp at the 9th fret on the 5th string. I'm going to go ahead and jump back up to the 9th fret for C sharp. Jump up to the 10th. And there. Okay, so in the last lesson we had done that, and we had just added a 9th to the 5th string form of the dominant chord and a 13th to the 6th string form of the dominant. We didn't really add any other colors, and there's other ones in there, and I mentioned if you go with the videos and the lessons that come with the book that it will go into much greater detail and cover all those chords. But I want to look at couple other voicings. Just for example, we can throw the 9th in on a minor 7th chord on that 5th string to the 13th, and then a major 9th, and that's a really nice alternative to that 2-5-1 progression. So if we go ahead and look at page 172, then flip over to there, you'll see those shapes, 6th string and 5th string forms for the 9ths. Now with our 13th chord, you could actually play with your pinky the 13th and the 9th, so that's an option. But take a look on the 5th string forms that we've been playing. So if this was G9, so I'm at the 10th fret, we've been playing G9 there. If we put our index finger down 1 fret, we get the minor 9th form. So take a look at that minor 9th form, which is really nice to play the minor 7th to that dominant 13th. So like G minor 7 to C13. It sounds so nice. And then we can come around and actually do a major 9 chord. So on that 5th string, look at that major 9 shape. And we'll try practicing that option over and over a little bit here. Just over and over. So it's going to be G minor 9, that new voicing, to the C13 to the F major 9. Just join in as you're able to. G minor 9, C13, F major 9, 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 G minor 9, C13, F major 9. Okay, so then if we go back to page 147 and do number 5, we can insert that option when we're playing those 2-5-1s on the 5th string. Otherwise, we'll keep the other one the same. With the major chords, you can throw in that 13th just like the dominant. So you can come around and have a major 13th if you wanted to do that one. So the difference between the two is when it's dominant, our middle finger's in the same fret as our index, and when it's major, it's in the fret that's just up there. So the same as where it is when we're playing the major 7th. But instead of having the 5th, we can come over and have the 13th. With this particular one, if you wanted the 9th, you can reach for it, or you can reach for the 13th. But I usually don't like grabbing the 13th on the minor 7 chords as much. It adds a little bit of a bite between that flatted 7th and that 6th or that 13th. But just the minor 7th to the dominant 9 to the major 13 is nice if you want to substitute that one in. Let's practice that for a moment. 2, ready, and you get the minor 7 to the dominant 9 to the major 13. D minor 7, G9, and C major 13. D minor 7, G9, C major 13. So, nice color there. Okay, let's play through number 5 with these new voicings. So, number 5 on page 147. 1, 2, ready, and D minor, G9, C major 13, C minor, F9, B flat, major 13, B flat minor 7, E flat 9, A flat, and then F sharp, C sharp minor, switching. Okay, let's go ahead and do some tablature now. Okay, so in the tablature, we're going to start off on pages 110 and 111. We're going to do numbers 150 through 152. So we'll take a look at 150 first. Acres of Clams, a familiar melody to us by this time in the course. It's in 3/4 time. We're going to be in 5th position. So that process of looking over the first few measures and discovering what the lowest fret that's used is, turns out with fret 5. And so fret 5, we put our index finger there, middle in 6th, ring in 7th, and pinky in 8th. In this particular one, we won't have to shift, so we get to stay in that position the whole time. So we'll just be in 5th position. Let's go ahead and play through this one. 3, 1, 2. 1, 2. 3. 1, 2. 2, 3, 1, 2. 3. 3, 1, 2. 2. Okay, you can play that at various tempos right along with me with the videos that come with the book, as I've mentioned in other lessons. Let's look at number 151. This one is going to require some shifting. As you look over those first few measures, you'll see that the 3rd fret is the lowest fret that's used. So that's where we're going to stick our index finger. Middle at the 4th, ring at the 5th, pinky at the 6th. This one is one of those boogie melodies for the blues, so kind of a boogie bass. So we stay right there in 3rd position all the way through the first 4 measures, and we're going to do that same thing in 3rd position for the next chord, for the next 2 measures. So all the way through the first 2 lines we get to stay in 3rd position, and then we're back for 2 measures. So we're still there, but at the end of that 3rd line where we go to the bass line, really is what this is, this little melody, bass melody. For the E flat 7 chord, we got to slide up to 5th position. The lowest fret used in that measure is the 5th fret, so we're going to have that melody in 5th position, and then we got to slide back down to the 3rd position for the one that's there for the D flat chord, and then we're position still, and that final thing is really in 4th position. It's just our F chord played with our index at the 4th fret. Let's try it. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so that's that first one. You can learning that at a whole bunch of different tempos. Getting it faster and faster is really good for the development of the hands, and it's a fun one to play. I'm just going to move on though to 152, Bluesin' and G Madness. I'll introduce you to this one. So this one's going to have a shift there in that 2nd measure. So we start off in 3rd position. That's the lowest fret used in that first measure. Shift down to 1st position. Then we got to shift back. Then we've got the same kind of thing on the next string. Down to 1st position, back. Down to 1st position. Then we're up to the 5th position. Sliding down to the 3rd. So I'll play this one slow, and this is also one that you can work on. And you can play them with me in the videos that come with the book at various tempos. We'll just do this one together once, though, at a nice, slow learning tempo. 1 and 2 and ready and go and... and 4. I think those ones are super fun. Reminiscent of the 50s. Let's flip over to page 112 and we'll do number 153. It's written there on the board, B flat bluesin'. So this one is going to sort of be similar to the one that we did with A flat, so 2 times 2 ago, so 151. But with this one, there's this little bluing trick. So we play in 5th position technically with our middle finger there on the B flat, Or you could start with your ring finger, but I usually play it with my middle finger. Come over to that 4th fret, and then with that little arch line, it's a slur, and we just pluck it for the 4th fret and slide into the 5th fret without re-plucking. And I'm sort of at this tempo swinging that rhythm a little bit. So you don't want to just get used to that movement there in that first measure. It's going to happen for 4 measures, but just get used to that. It's going to happen on the 2nd line on the next string, same exact thing. So middle finger at the 6th fret on the 5th string, and then on that 4th string I slide in, so you can get used to that one. That one's going to happen twice. It'll go back to the original one that we were doing. But on the last line, we're going to slide up to 7th position, so our middle finger will be on the 8th fret. And we're going to do it once there, then we slide down to the 5th position, do it once there, all on the 5th string, and then we're back. Just like that. Okay, nice and slow, the whole thing. 1, 2, ready, and... 3rd time, 4th time. Two, 3, 4, and that one's fun to do at all different tempos as well. Okay, so that's our practice there. Let's go on over to page 126 and 127, and we're going to do St. Louis Blues kind of while we're in this bluesy, kind of that old W.C. Handy blues tune, St. Louis Blues or St. Louis Blues. This one has a 1st and 2nd ending, and that 1st and 2nd ending goes back to the beginning of the song. So when there isn't ever a repeat, it's just from the beginning. So this one doesn't have a repeat facing the opposite direction, but then we know we're back to the beginning. But after we've done that, we go on and play, and we're going to run into another 1st and 2nd ending. But that 1st and 2nd ending goes back to that measure on the 3rd line that's right after the 2nd ending. So we see the repeat bar there. And then we go on and we finish the rest of the song. So, just see if you can play along. It's kind of a fun old bluesy tune. 1, 2, ready, and... 4, rest. 2, rest, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 4, rest. 2, rest, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, repeat. 2, ready, and 4, rest. 2, rest, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, 2nd ending. 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 2, rest, 4, 1, 2, 3. 2, rest, 4, 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 1, 2, off. So that's a fun one, I think. Let's go over and do page 129. We're going to do Fur Elise, number 177. So this one is from our classical repertoire. Probably familiar because it's a Beethoven thing. So we'll take it nice and slow. This one's fun to get up fast as well, but we'll take it slow. It comes in on 3 and, so I'll give us 3, 1, 2, and we'll catch the pickup. 3 and 1 and 2 and. Usually pause there. Okay, so we'll go over and do some note reading now. If you're interested in the rest of the songs that haven't been covered in this course, of course they are covered with the videos that come with the book itself. Okay, let's do some notes. Okay, so in the note reading, we're going to be going over some rhythmic things specifically today. These are actually things that we've been doing in the tablature over the last several lessons, but now we're going to look at them in note reading where we're actually reading the rhythm rather than playing a little bit more intuitively with how we're familiar with melodies, or you playing along with me and me showing how the rhythm's done. So we're going to start off on page 95 and do number 1, talking about triplets first. So normally our beat is divided into 2, so we do duple, so to speak. 1, 2, 3, 4 into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But in the place of a quarter note, we could actually throw 3/8 notes. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4. Or we could throw 3/4 notes in place of a half note, or 3 half notes in place of a whole note, instead of normally how it's divided into 2. And so when that happens, if you take a look there at page 95, with the examples, it's sitting there 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So, triplets with the half notes, 3 half notes sort of bracketed together with a 3, 3/4 notes bracketed together with a 3, 3/8 notes bracketed together with a 3 is telling us we're going to play 3 in the place of 2, but it takes up that same length of the quarter note or the half note, whatever is the subdividing value. So, quarter notes are subdivided by 1/8 notes, half notes are subdivided by quarter notes, so whatever the subdividing value is. When counting these, we just usually 1 and, or whichever beat the first one starts on, then we say that number and then we just use that for the triplets. With plucking these, it can happen 2 different ways really. We can do, well, with the alternate plucking, because of course we could do all down plucks or something, but down, up, down can happen for each set of triplets. So down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. That's shown there on the right side with these picking examples, or it can be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Just sort of depends on the moment and how you want to handle it. I usually do strings of them, probably just alternating because it's faster, but if it's one little triplet, I probably just grab it down, up, down, down, but not in repeats of them successively. But it depends on the specific instance, so it's good to practice both. What we're going to do here with the C major scale is play a little bit with the triplets. So starting on C, we're going to play up to that high note of G, which is the highest note in first position that we can play in that scale, down to the low E, because that's the lowest, and then back to the C. And you can pick if you want to go down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down first. We'll practice both, but that's the one I'm going to start with first. Down, up, down. Just do that on each one of those groups of 3. 1 and 2 and ready and go and C. Okay, now whichever one you didn't do, I went down, up, down, down, up, down. We're going to do the alternate one this time. So I'm going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, and just alternate direction the whole time. 1 and 2 and ready and go and C. Okay, we'll try this with a melody. We'll flip on over to page 97 and do number... Oops, I flipped a page too far. 97 and do number 8, My Redeemer. So we got these triplets. 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. We're in the key of G major, so we gotta remember to sharp the F notes as indicated there in the key signature. I'll give us 1 and 2 and we'll catch 3 and 2, and we'll be just like so. Here you go. 1 and 2 and 2 and off. So in that second to last measure, where you have the bracket, but one of them's a quarter note, it works the same. The quarter note gets 2/3, two of the triplets, and then that third eighth note gets the value of one of the triplets. Okay, so there's one little introductory example. Let's take a look now at page 98, and we'll do number 11. The 6/8 time, 9/8 time, 12/8 time, which has been discussed a little bit in previous lesson or lessons when we were doing strumming in those meters. It's naturally sort of in a triplet type feel. 1 and 2 and because each beat is a dotted quarter subdivided by 3/8 notes. So and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. We've played this with the tablature and with the chords. Let's just go ahead and read it here in the notes and practice reading it with those rhythms now. It comes in on the last eighth note in the 6/8 time, so I'll give us 1 and a 2, and then we'll be in with the and there. 1 and a 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. And off. Okay, we'll flip on over to pages 115 and 117 now. We'll take a look at doing 16th notes. Now we've played with 16th notes before as well in some of the tablature songs, and we've even done it with the double time feel in the strumming, but let's take a look here with 16th notes. So a 16th note divides, 2 16th notes divide the 8th notes. So we get a further subdivision of the beat. 4 16th notes fits in 1 quarter note. We usually count these with 1 E and we use the E and the surrounding in between the 1 and the and parts. So the part where it's on the beat and the halfway point between, which is counted 1 and 2 and usually with the 8th note. So now we have more. With this comes a new aspect of plucking. We can just take it to the new subdivision and we can pluck 16th notes down, up. So those on the beat and those on the and, so the halfway point between, would be down plucks, and then those that are on the E or the would be up plucks. With that example there on the right, it's down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. And that's because when we enter in this new subdivision and we're doing the alternate plucking with the subdivision, then my 8th notes that fall on the beat and that fall on the and are going to have the down plucks. But it's just the E and the that have the up plucks, so that's why it's done that way. But as we get comfortable with the alternate picking, what can be really useful is to just continue alternate picking. So the way that I would probably play that rhythm is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So I still pluck those. And that's why with quarter notes, strings of quarter notes, I usually am alternate plucking too. Just depends on the tempo and kind of depends on what I want to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice this a little bit with number 1. You can do it as indicated with down, 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 up. So those 8th notes that are back to back on the beat and then on the halfway point between the beat. Or if you want to, you can also alternate those down, up. Either way is fine. I'm just going to do it as written there in the example, but here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go and 1. This is a little practice, and you can practice more with all of this stuff with the videos that come with the book, but we're going to flip over and actually play a song. Number 8 over on page 117. We've played this before actually in the tablature, but in a different key. So we get a little chance to practice reading these rhythms. Let's go ahead and do it. 1 E and go E and repeat. beat. Okay, we're going to turn over to page 119 and do number 12. Before we do, you may want to take a look at page 118. It talks about the dotted eighth note. So dotted eighth note is the value of 3 16th notes. It's usually preceded or followed by the other 16th note that would fill out the beat. So this sometimes comes in 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a. We've played the songs with this feel before. So let's go over and look at number 12 then, Three Blind Mice, where we get to practice a little of this. And it's actually thrown in with triplets. So 1 and so let's play that one. 1, 2, ready. Don't forget, or don't miss that we're in the key of D. So C sharp and F sharp. Okay, here you go. 1, 2, ready, and. Super fun. Okay, so that wraps us up for notes today. Learning to read the notes really opens up our ability to play written music, play in ensembles that require written music, play music that doesn't have tablature created for it. So it's a great skill. Keep working through this book. Keep developing that skill. The note reading, of course, goes into greater detail with the videos that come with that book. And once you finish that book, you can go on to book 3 if you'd like to and learn how to read all over the next. So it's pretty great. Okay, let's go back to the chords. Okay, so back in the chords, we're going to start off on pages 179 and 180, looking at the fully diminished 7th chords. So we've looked at these chords before, but just sort of in first position. So now I want to look at the movable shapes, especially the 2 that are for the 6th string and the 5th string form. So the two forms there on the left. So the 6th string form first. If I was playing on a C, my middle finger goes there on that 8th fret. The index is going to bar over, or you could pluck those 2 notes individually, but I usually bar over, so that'd be at the 7th fret. So and then my root and my middle finger is at the 8th fret, and then my ring finger is also at the 8th fret. So I get that fully diminished 7th sound. Fully diminished chords have the root, the flat 3, the flat 5, and the double flat at 7th, which is the same as the 6th. And the chord symbol has the open circle and then the 7th. So that's the 6th string form. You can take a look at the 5th string form as well. So this one's sort of like playing your dominant chord, like an E7, but I got to change the root to the F. That's really what that one is. It's the only note that's different between those 2 chords. Once you've got those 2 voicings figured out, you can flip on over to page 180, and we're going to look at number 3 as indicated on the board. So these chords oftentimes connect chords like the 1 chord to the 2 chord. We were doing those 2 5 1s. So we have A flat major 7, A diminished 7th, then we're up to the B minor 7, B diminished 7th, then we're going to be up to C minor 7. So it just sort of goes around that way. So that's how that first line sounds. As it continues, we get some more of our jazzy chords. You can choose to use F minor 7 or F minor 9, doesn't matter. B flat 13, you can use E flat major 9 or E flat major 7 if you want. But then we're going to have the E diminished 7th. So that it's going to be F minor 7 to the F sharp diminished 7th to the G minor, C13, C minor. You wouldn't have to throw colors on at all. I'm just going to throw colors on the dominant chords, so without the newer chords that we learned earlier in this lesson, the minor ninth and major ninth. So it'll just be the ones that we've been doing for a couple lessons now. But it doesn't matter, you can throw in either. We'll fit in these diminished chords. Okay, so down that. 1, 2, ready, and A flat major 7, A diminished 7, B flat minor 7 to the B diminished. We got the C minor 7, F 7, F minor 7, B flat major 7 to the E diminished. So we have those two chords there at the end. They each get one of the down plucks, and that's all there is to it. Let's do it a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, and. So that's diminished 7th. Those sneak into our progressions once in a while. Let's take a look at other chords with the altered 5th. So over on page 181, it's the 7th chords with altered 5ths. We can alter the 5th to any type of our 7th chord. We can sharp the 5th, so we can raise it by a half step or lower it by a half step. This opens up to having quite a few different voicing options. The only ones that we're going to worry about today in this lesson is the minor 7 flat 5, because it's a half diminished chord. It has the diminished triad, the root, the minor 3rd, and the flatted 5th. You're going to see this over on pages 182 and 183, minor 7th chords with altered 5ths. Really just 182, but the voicings are over on page 183. So the root, the minor 3rd, and the diminished 5th there under minor 7th chords with altered 5ths, that second one. And then when we add the minor 7th to it, it's called half diminished. And the chord symbol for that can be the open circle with a slash through it, as I have written up here on the board. Or it can have it can be written as a minor 7 flat 5 in the chord symbols. So as you look further down the page with the flatted 5th, just sitting above that title, minor major 7th chords with altered 5ths, just above that you'll see C minor 7 with the flat 5 in parentheses, or the F dash, the minus sign of 7 with the flat 5 symbol, or B flat with that half diminished symbol, the open circle with the line through it. C sharp minor 7 minus 5 might be a way you might see it, but most often we see it with the lowercase m 7 flat 5 or a dash, so the minus 7 flat 5, or is the half diminished symbol. So you usually see it one of those ways. We need this chord. I have them written up here on the board, but you can also see them there on page 183. Minor 7 flat 5. So if I play it here, the one off the 6th string, I have written up here on the board as well. But it's the minor, our minor chord that we've been playing. All we've got to do is take what's on that 2nd string and lower it by one fret. But that means we have to completely reshape our hand. So in reshaping our hand, and of course the 5th string and the 1st string are just muted. We're not even playing those ones. But it's kind of a tough one to sometimes finger. It's a little tight. And it may sound harsh to the ears, but it sounds great in a minor key. So that's that one. The one off the 5th string, which is written there on page 183, you can find it, the minor 7 flat 5. It's the one on the top right. Both of these in those boxes are on the top right, top row, right side, far right, so the 4th one there. But the minor 7 flat 5 off the 5th string, you can use a bar to do it and mute, or you can finger your 2 fingers. So both in the 8th fret there on every other string, 5th and 3rd, and then I fill it in at the 9th fret. We need those two those are our minor 7 flat 5 chords. So we're going to remember those for a moment. And then we're not going to worry about the other shapes. We can alter the 5th on the dominant chords and the major chords and on the other types of minor chords. If we now, though, flip on over to page 188 and 189, we see that we can alter our upper extensions. So our 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths can be altered as well, meaning we can have a sharp 9 or a flat 9 instead of the natural 9. We can have a sharp 11 instead of the natural 11, which we've sort of already talked about, because with major chords, if we're going to add that extension, we're going to use a sharp 11 instead of the natural 11 in most cases. But that's already talked about, though we haven't learned any voicings here in this course. It does cover them in the lessons that come with the book. And we can actually take the 13th and flat it. Now, we don't lower the 11th because that's just a natural third. We don't raise the 13th because it's just a flatted 7th. But a flat 13 we can have. And in just FYI, it's the same pitch. A flat 13 is the same pitch as a sharp 5. So it's actually an overlapping voicing, because we can't have both on the guitar anyway with the limited strings that we have. We could also, the sharp 11 is the same as the flat 5, so those voicings overlap. We're going to need an altered dominant, so we're just going to worry about the dominant 7ths and we're going to alter it. And I'm going to give us one alteration just based upon the chords that we've already been playing. We're not going to worry about all the voicings there on page 189. So the one that I'm going to give us for the 6th string form is we've been playing this dominant 13 chord. So all we have to do is on that 2nd string, lower that by 1 fret, and we have a dominant 7 with a flat 13, an altered dominant chord. It's also a dominant 7 with a sharp 5 because the 5th that we were playing is raised. So we need that one. That's going to be our dominant 7th alteration here. So that written there would be a dominant 7 with a flat 13. It's not explained here because in this book it just explains that it's the same as a sharp 5. So it was actually explained with the voicing a few pages earlier, but I just explained it to us. So we're just taking our 13th and flatting it by a fret. It's going to be in the same fret as our ring finger. Okay, and for the 5th string form, we've been playing a dominant 9th. We're just going to sharp that 9th. So we're sharpening that 9th by bringing it up 1 fret. That one is written there. It's the top left form under the 5th string forms. Okay, so once you've got those, we want to flip on over to page 190, and we're going to practice these a little bit. So with number 1 on page 90, it's just going around the circle of 4ths. So let's first practice our minor 7 flat 5, or our half-diminished chords, going around the circle of 4ths. So it'll be just like that, and then we'll be on to the B flat. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and we got the C minor 7 flat 5 to the F to the B flat to the E flat to the A flat to the D flat to the G flat to the B to the E to the A to the D to the G and to the C. Okay, let's do the same thing with our altered dominants. So we're going to start with the C7 flat 13 or sharp 5, and then the F7 sharp 9. We'll go around just like so. 1, 2, ready, and C to the F to the B flat to the E flat to the A flat to the D flat, G flat or F sharp, Let's see. Now we want to apply these to the 2-5-1s. So there with number 2, we're going to start off with the D half diminished 7 to the G7. It just says all. We're using the sharp 9 voicing that we've been using. Then it says C minor 6. We're actually just going to use the minor 7th chords that we've already been using. We practiced a little bit with the minor 6. Some of the chord little progressions in here use the minor major 7th. We haven't really practiced with that one, but we're just going to go ahead and use the minor 7th regardless of what it says. So every time when we come around that 2-5-1, we're just going to use the minor 7th, and on the other forms we use the minor 7th as well. So we're just going to use the minor 7th. We're just going to worry about these 2 new chords, and then you could go on and worry about learning those if you'd like to. And of course the videos that come with the book go into great detail on all of these chords, and they do all the fun progressions in the book, so you can check those out right along with me in those videos. But here we move a little bit faster, sort of like we do in the classroom. Okay, so let's go ahead and just practice this 2-5-1 in C minor. So G7 alt and then C minor. So in a minor key, we alter the 2 chords so that it's got that flatted 5th, and we alter the dominant chord so it's got some sort of alteration. It could be any number of combination of 9ths and 5ths. It could be just the 13th. It could be just the 9th. It could be just the 5th. So you're just going to get comfortable though with this one, the sharp 9 one we're using there with the minor 7 flat 5. And then our minor 7 chord is the 1. The 1 chord of a minor key can be a minor 7th. It can be a minor 6th. It can be a minor major 7th. So we have lots of options. That's why they're all practiced here, but we're just going to practice with this one. Okay, so let's look at the other set then. Let's practice with the other set. So I'm going to start on G half diminished to the C7 flat 13 to the F minor 7. So join in with that one. Do it again. Okay, let's go ahead and play number 2. 1, 2, ready, and we got the D flat minor 7 flat 5 to the G7 alt to the C minor 7, just using the minor 7s. Then it becomes half diminished to the alt. We're just using B flat minor 7 instead of minor major. And then half diminished, or minor 7 flat 5 to the altered dominant to the minor. Up to the F sharp, so the alternate form. And then the half diminished. I'm going to switch back to the 6th string, 2, 5th string 5, 1. This will become half diminished, altered dominant to the 1, and the minor 7 flat 5, E7 alt to G minor, going higher. This one's just going to throw in a final thing in the key of C there. Okay, so hopefully learning these chords is kind of fun. They're kind of interesting sounds. They sound great in tunes that are in minor, from like American songbook kind of standards, the old show tunes and jazz standards. Those kind of chords show up a lot. That doesn't cover all the chords we have in the book, but it sure is an introduction into all the different types of chords and a really good introduction into playing some of the voicings that are used the most often. I hope you've had a blast learning to play the guitar and you're enjoying working on it. This is the last lesson in the Guitar 101 series. We just covered a little bit more than what happened in 2 semesters worth of courses at the university. And this 101 course has focused on note reading and reading tablature, so music written in tablature for the guitar, and chords. And we've covered most of the chords that you would probably need for playing most styles of music. Of course, there are places to go beyond here. So with this channel that this is on, with the Dr. Kristen Bromley's Online Music Academy, there will be many courses to come, and there may already be some, depending on when you watch this video. This is the first series that's done on this video, in addition to the quick answer videos with short answers on everything. But there'll be other series to come, and there may already be, when you've seen this video, on many other things. It may take my whole life, but I'm going to cover as many topics as I do when I'm performing. So, and you can also check me out as a performer. I play solo on guitar. I play in a lot of different styles, blues and jazz and folk and pop and just a little bit of everything. I just am a guitar kid. I love the guitar. Hope you love music. It's been a blast being here with you. For me, take care, and I hope to see you again. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at kristenbromley.com. Take care.